It might be kind of small. There we go. All right, that's what. that's the profile. And now I can just part it off somehow without breaking it, maybe like that. Maybe touch it up a little bit. See how this goes. I don't know if it'll cut. I'm gonna go really slow. So I got none. I got 0 because the last one broke all of them. I might be able to use this and cut it by hand. That's hard to do. Like, it really shouldn't be done on a bandsaw. Technically. Wearing gloves or using machines is actually very dangerous. Should wear gloves. No, don't wear gloves. Don't wear gloves. Alright, let's try it one time. Find my coping saw and do this, or yeah, this isn't working. I don't want to use it on the bandsaw. I have all my fingers and I don't want to lose any. So let's do ornaments for the top of the trees on the lathe. That's what we'll do. So we're trying to make ornaments for the tops. Let's do that on the lathe because that's what we like doing. Let me get that set up. We'll use this piece. See if we can make a tiny little ornament to put on top. Yeah, you don't want to wear gloves on anything that's spinning, or like a bandsaw where it's constantly turning the same direction. Like it's just, it's not a good situation. It will eventually grab and pull you in. All right, this is little stuff, and it's on the lathe like a spindle, so we'll use our spindle tools. But we'll get it round first, and then put it in the chuck. All right, let me get my safety glasses on. Face shield, and I'm using my spindle roughing gouge. got a tough piece right there. Got to get through that. Let's switch to a bowl gouge. Is that Mark McClooney is in? Nice. Nice to see you. I'm finally doing one in your time zone. There, sometimes if the grain is going all different, this is just too big of a bite and it'll just stop the lathe. So if I switch to the bowl gouge, has a tighter point on it, it'll push through. Now, I think I made this too small for my chuck, so we're just gonna make it right on here. All right, and if you're just joining us, I am making a little ornament to top these little Christmas trees that I made. I drilled an 1/8" hole in the top. And I just want to I was going to put a star, but cutting that on my bandsaw wasn't working. And I don't really have a good coping saw right now, so. All right, so that's the problem with doing that too small. So start over. Just start over and do another one. But I can't go that small to the end, especially on end grain. Okay. Alright, I'm going to switch to my spindle gouge. Looks about right. Where did he go? Well, it did what I wanted it to do. But it's back there somewhere. Oh boy. Always in a live stream, right? I don't want to make another one. That one is perfect. Well, I guess we're gonna have to make another one. I'll find it someday. I'll find it someday. Let me get a new piece of wood. All right. All right. We'll find it. We'll find it one of these days. Still looking at the floor because that is all there is to look at right now. I thought maybe somebody would see it and tell me where that piece went, but it's a little too little, I guess, for... All right, we're gonna put this in the chuck. Tell you, I gotta get something. This is my lunch hour is almost over. I don't have anything to show for it yet. I'm gonna put this in pretty tight. I'm still gonna bring up my live center. And we're gonna do this really fast. All right, really fast. And what we're doing is, I just need to make an ornament to top the little Christmas tree I made. I made 2 of them yesterday, in yesterday's live stream. And I really want a tree topper for that. Okay, perfect. There's our little tree topper. But I want it yellow. I wanted it to be a star. So if you use paint that you can still see the grain through, you don't lose sight of the wood and how hard it is to make. One thing I've noticed is when people paint with solid colors, you kind of lose sight that that's wood that somebody carved or lathed or whatever. So this is going to dry a little bit transparent, enough that we can see. Well, I didn't even sand it, and it's just not sticking very well. So there, just kind of spotty. It's like a glitter yellow. All right, let's make one more. I'm going to be late getting back after lunch, but I can work a few minutes after. So I could use sandpaper, but that takes the challenge out of it. Almost. I always work from right to left. You don't want to try to cut after you've narrowed it up. Like if I cut over here and then try to finish this, it doesn't work very well. I'm going to pull my sleeve up. I have long sleeves on, but I don't want it to get caught in the chuck, so I'm going to pull my sleeve up before I cut that off. And this one, profile, kind of looks like a star. I'd have to work on that, but that'll do. That should fit down in there. I might have to sand that one. Or we can glue it. I cut it too much of an angle bevel. There. There. Maybe that's how I make a star. I make it round and then cut it. How would I cut that? I don't know. Stars are tough. Maybe a diamond star with like 4 points. Might be easier. How would you make a star, Mark? I might have to do a couple coats with this paint. It's like when I put it on, it wipes off what was there before. But there, you get the idea. 2 little trees, complete with stars on top. You could get some green paint and paint the whole tree if you wanted. I like these natural. This is Wood, Y-E-W. So I love the grain in this wood. But all right, that's all for today. Check back tomorrow. We will be, I think, making some candlesticks tomorrow. So check back. I've got to get back to work. Have a good day. You have purpose, you have value, and you are loved. God bless.